pub. Yeah.
Because it's light.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's a light bit of food, but we're not here to talk about food. We're here to talk about Kieron Conway. Welcome back.
Thank you very much. It's good to be back.
From the UK to Japan.
That's it. It's
back
good
to the UK.
Back in the UK, fighting in a big card in the UK. It's exciting. The last few years, there hasn't been much of that. I've been international 3 times in the last few years. It's been very slow over here for me with just tick over fights and things like that. So it's good to be back in a real fight on a big card at a nice time of the year as well. Just finish the year strong.
Kieron, refresh my memory. How many years have you been as a pro now? Because it just feels like you've been around for a long time, but is it about 5 or 6 years?
If you didn't say that, I would have probably said 8. So maybe you're more right. I don't know, but I agree with you. It does feel like I've just been around forever.
Been around forever, but that experience and a household name, a name that everyone knows.
Yeah.
The journey so far, the ups and downs, the life of a boxer, you're the one that can speak to like all of these young'uns and tell them what to expect, which is basically expect the unexpected.
Absolutely. I think that my career has been very up and down. Not just up and down, there's been twists and turns, there's been all sorts going on. Lots of stress, lots of frustration, but also lots of good times as well. Boxing has treated me equally well as it has negatively, but we learn from every experience and we just take it all on board and we take it day as it comes.
When you say equally as good as equally as bad, give us a real good experience that you've had in boxing that sometimes when you feel like, you know what, I can't do this anymore, there's that one thing that makes you remember why you're doing it.
Boxing, the real good standout memories in boxing has just been being a part of this. Like Matchroom have gave me all sorts of opportunities. I can't thank Matchroom and my management enough. They've sent me around the world. I've had experiences doing that. All sorts of cultures I've experienced. I think some people wouldn't have even experienced that outside of boxing, and I've got to do it with boxing, which is a passion of mine. So it's win-win for me.
And what's one of the worst things that's happened that you, like you said, you could have just said, you know what? No. One thing that will stick in your mind, but one thing that shows that you got heart and you really do live the life and want to be a champion.
I think to pinpoint one thing wouldn't be fair on myself or my career. I'd say there's been a few negative things that always just stick in my head. Even the positive things, I take everything with me. But the negative things that have shaped and formed me, such as the losses when I've stepped up, frustrated me because I'm frustrated at myself because I don't think I've done myself justice because I know what I'm capable of. And I think that's where those sort of fights have taught me a lesson that I just need to let myself be me in the ring. And that's when the best is going to come out of me. I've been guilty of maybe holding back a little, not even holding back, just not letting myself express myself enough. And it's probably been the difference in a win and a loss in a couple of those fights, or even just a good performance. There's been too many close performances, close decisions that I've got, such as like JJ Metcalf, the losses in America. The loss in Texas, the better man won. He was just better than me on that night. His speed was just very good. And I'll be honest about that. I was a big guy for that weight. He was a little guy for the weight, and he moved down after, and it's shown because I just could not catch him. So things like that, I'll just take it as it is. But the one against Ammo in Vegas, I struggle to accept it because I think that it was my own faults, my own not letting my hands go when I should have and could have. So I have left there with would have, should have, could have. So it's things like that I need to take forward, and I believe that I do.
Fighters do experience that, like you said. Sometimes it could just be down to the night, but you're an experienced fighter. What is it when you're in that moment? I don't know, the bright lights, whatever it is. What stops you from really being yourself in there until you literally have that regret, like you could kick yourself the day after or 2 days after thinking, well, why didn't I just do that? What happens in that moment, Kieron?
I think it's more like, it used to be the fear of failure. But I think I've done the right things. When I noticed that was the problem, I went away and did the things that I had to do around that. Seen people, spoke to people, did all the right things. And now I see things a lot differently. I think about things a lot differently. And I think my last performance, maybe the one before, and my next one coming up is going to show that.
Sticking with it and sticking with, I know you got your brother as your coach. How is that, and how does that relationship keep solid? Having a family member as your teammate, and I'm saying that because sometimes it doesn't always work because there's emotions involved in family. So how do you keep that professional, solid relationship?
James, you talk about James. That's actually my dad.
Why did I think he was your brother?
Yeah, because he's young, I think. A lot of people think that, you know. A lot of people.
Well, that's a compliment because I could have said that he was your dad and he's your brother. Then I would have turned the camera off and gone home.
A lot of people say that. I'm not going to tell him because he loves that sort of thing. But
okay,
yeah,
so
he's my dad.
Yeah. So even more so because we see that with dads getting involved. So
yeah.
How do you keep that? How do you maintain that?
No, sometimes it's a struggle. It's not as smooth as it may look on TV and stuff like that. Sometimes it's hard. Like family being involved in anything can be quite difficult, as I think everybody could relate with that's watching this. And we just have to work it out and do what we've got to do. We both got into he got into coaching whilst I got into boxing, so we've done the journey together.
We've grown together then.
Yeah. So that's what it's about. You just got to listen to each other.
Interesting. And yeah, shout out Daddy-O, that I thought was your brother. So Saturday, we're going to get down to it. Saturday, your opponent, like I said, I was expecting you to be fighting someone else, but whatever, that didn't happen. We are here. Talk to us about that on Saturday and what we can expect from you. I know it's cliche, but I like to hear what the fighters think before the fight. You know, this is the eve, isn't it? Or the day before the eve.
Mm-hmm. Saturday, it's a fight that I went looking for. I needed a fight with a fighter that's going to come and bring the best out of me. I didn't need somebody to give me an easy night, to go back foot, to make me go looking. This guy's going to be there, and this is a good opportunity for me to display what I'm about. I keep saying it, and now I need to show it. It's going to be clinical, it's going to be clear cut, and I don't see this going 12 rounds either. I think this is going to be another real display of the power that I say that I've got. And I think everyone's now starting to see that my hands are heavy. And that's probably why I end up in sometimes a little bit of boring fights, because the opponent's game plan will change as soon as they get hit, and it then makes things a little bit difficult for me. But we're going to see a good performance on Saturday night.
A good performance and never overlooking your opponents. When you look at your career, and we've argued whether it's 8 or 6 years, I'm sure I'll Google it in a minute and check. What do you want out of the next 12 months? We're talking about putting your foot on the gas, getting yourself where you believe you deserve. You've gone over to the US, you've had fights, better man's won, you didn't put in enough effort, you've been there and worn the t-shirt. What do you want out of 2025?
I want to win this Commonwealth title. It's a very good title to win. It's going to open doors again, put me in a good position to make some decisions. I think the British title is next, so I'd like to win that as well. It's been something that I've been mentioned and around for a few years, ever since I boxed Ted Cheeseman years ago when I first appeared on the scene out of nowhere. So it'd be good to get that to my name, and I think we'll focus on that and then we'll go on from there. I don't want to look too far ahead. I'm only looking at Saturday night, so answering that question was a spur of the moment thing. I've not thought about it before. I always think about just what's next, and what's next is Saturday night.
People say I'm toxic, and honestly, I don't care.